Alright folks, in my video about my daily ESO routine I've talked extensively about Master Writs, but it came to my attention that a few of you don't really know what Master Writs even are, so this is what this video is about. I will tell you everything you need to know about Master Writs. We are going from very basic to the more advanced tips and tricks, and we are starting obviously with the basic ones, and we dive right into it. Alrighty folks, here we are in my house. I will show you the writs I currently have. We will just type that in. And as you can see, I've got plenty of Master Writs right here. This is all just Master Writs. This is from, well, let's say 4 weeks. I've got quite the high drop chance, but we will get to that later. Let's start out with what these are actually even, you know? So, Master Writs are essentially a quest that requires you to craft a specific item that is associated to that profession. You can only have one writ active at one time. When you, for example, if I activate that alchemy writ right now and I have it in my quest log, and I can't or don't want to do that, I have to abandon it. And if you abandon it, you lose that writ. So you have to be careful what you accept before you do that. Since there are 7 different professions, you can have 7 different quests active at a time. There's a way to overcome this limit, but we will get to that later as well. The alchemy and enchanting and provisioning writs are quite easy to do so. They require you to craft potions, runes and provisioning stuff, obviously. But the blacksmithing, jewelry crafting and clothier and woodworking, for that matter, are a bit more sophisticated. So these require you to craft a specific item from a specific set with a specific trait in a specific style. As you can see, that's already quite complicated. You will have to make sure that you are able to craft that to begin with. When you get some of these writs, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can do it, you know? So you have to make sure before you accept that quest that you are actually able to do so. Otherwise you will have to abandon the quest and lose the writ. In order to have the chance to get them in the first place, you have to be a master crafter in the respective profession. So you have to be level 50 and you have to have all skill points in the main skill line, I think you need that too, in order to have the possibility to get one to begin with. As you can see, these come in purple and in legendary, so epic and legendary. The legendary writs that require you to craft gear pieces, they require you to also upgrade that to legendary, so that means for blacksmithing you will need tempering alloy, for clothier you will need dragwags, for woodworking you need rosin, and for jewelry crafting you will need chromium plating. When you get your first Master Writ, this will not look like this. There is an add-on I'm using that shows me what exactly I need to do and what kind of materials I will have to have beforehand to be able to craft that. It also tells me how much it will cost me to craft that. We will get to that on later on. We will get to that add-on later on, this way. It's also noteworthy that these are tradable, so you can sell and buy them from other players. So you feel like you got one and you don't want to do it, you can just sell it. That's a good way to make gold on the side as well. Okay, so now that we know what these Master Writs even are, it poses the question, what do we even need them for? And maybe you've already spotted it in the reward section. It says writ vouchers. In this particular instance I would get 93. The more sophisticated the writ is, the more writ vouchers you will get. This one, for example, only grants you 7. This one 93, 88, 7, 109, 119, so they vary heavily. The alchemy ones, they grant less writ vouchers, but they are usually more expensive or very have a quite the big sales volume on the Guild Trader. We will get to that in just a second. But first we will talk about the writ vouchers. You can exchange these at a writ vendor. You can find in every major, in every main city of the specific alliance. So for the Aldmeri Dominion, it's Eldenroot. For I think it's Daggerfall and Ebonheart or something. Sorry, I haven't played the other ones. But the vendors for that are in 3 different positions. And we will get over to that guy now. Alright, we are in Mournhold right now. That is the 3rd city. I wasn't remembering quite. This is the easiest writ vendor you can access. You can access all of them, but this is the fastest. From the Way Shrine right here, you just go south, and after leaving through the gate, these will stand here. These 2 guys. This is next to the drop-off for the daily writs. And we have a Master Crafter Mediator, which is called Rolus Lalu, and we've got Faustina Curio, which is the Achievement Mediator. We are going to check out Rolus Lalu first, and we go over some of the things you can buy here. Obviously, one of the most interesting things are the crafting stations you can get here. The attunable crafting stations, they get you the ability to attune them to a set that you can find in the world. We will get to that in just a second. These are quite popular. As you can see, we can also sell these. These go for 150,000 gold, and they have a decent sales volume. So exchanging your writ vouchers for that, in case you want to sell it, is a good idea. Another thing that goes quite well with these is the diminished... Is it here? Yeah, here it is. The diminished ethereal dust that costs 50 writ vouchers, and it goes for 30,000 gold. You can see there's also 182 sales in the last 24 hours. So it's a quite great sales volume. I would personally stay away from patterns. They might be worth a lot of gold, but their sales volume is quite low. Just yesterday the new patch hit, that's why we have new, for example, the Colovian Tapestry, Red Diamond, looks very nice in my opinion, but it doesn't have a price yet because there's no averages yet for that, so I can't really tell you what those would be worth, but at some point you get a feeling of what these are worth in the end. Another one that is very popular is the Ethereal Ambrosia recipe, and obviously the research scrolls, they are very popular as well. Mostly the blacksmithing and clothing ones. The woodworking is usually a little less expensive. There is also a research scroll for the jewelry crafting, though it costs 10 writ vouchers and goes for like 6.5k. So you can do the math in your head, you can get more than 3 for 10, and you would make more money if you just sell 3 of these instead of 1 for jewelry crafting research. Very interesting as well are the storage chests. These are interesting for your housing. You can see here each of them has 60 slots. There are smaller ones that only have 30 slots, but this is essentially the maximum amount of stuff you can have in your house that increases your storage capacities. Mine is red because I already have all of these. These are very, very, very useful if you do housing or have other problems with bank space. I personally have all of them filled with just furnishing crap I haven't been able to use yet or wanted for later. So these are very popular as well. You can sell them though, because these count as collectibles and they automatically go into your collectible tab. As you can see here, there's Transmute Station for 1,250 writ vouchers. That's quite a lot. You will not be able to get that right away. As you can see, I am on 1,100 myself. We will get some done later, so I can show you the whole process of how this is done. But this should be enough for an overview of that trader. We're going to check out the other one real quick. This one is usually for furnishing recipes. For example, this one, the Dragonhold Furnishing Folio, 700 writ vouchers, and it grants you all the 7 legendary furnishing recipes that were once sold individually. In case you missed that when you were playing not playing at that time, then you can get them here. Quite expensive too, but this is a very late game. The most interesting part about this vendor is probably the Grandmaster crafting stations. What those are is you can place these and then use an attuned crafting station that we've seen at the other trader just now for 250 Writ vouchers, and it will be able to collect all 80 set items that are currently in the game. That means you will have to have 80 different attuned crafting stations because they get used when you put it on one of these Grandmaster ones. So this is very late game. This is usually just for the people in guilds that offer up their house for crafting, which we also cover in just a second. I personally only have one Grandmaster station right now, because this is just insane grind. You need 1,500 for each. You can't buy these, by the way, either. These are bind on pickup. You can, however, buy the attunable ones. So if you need 80 you need 80 attunable ones for one of these. So that's 4 times 80, that's 320. So you need 320 attunable ones in total to completely fill all of these sets up. And since one is 250 Writ vouchers, that means it's 250 times 320. And yeah, that's quite a lot. I mean, you can sell the attunable, you can buy the attunable ones, but still, this is not feasible. At least not right away. It's a very long grind if you want to do this on your own. Usually people who offer up their house for this kind of stuff get financial support in that regard. But yeah, if you're a really hardcore player, then probably you're not watching this video. But I'm still showing you this because it's maybe the end goal you can work towards. So essentially, the Writ vendors are interesting for housing and gold making. And that pretty much sums it up for the vendor. We are going to switch over to how can you get Master Writs. Alright then, how do you get the Master Writs? Well, first of all, you can get them after handing in your daily crafting writ, though it comes a bit with a catch. First of all, these drop rates are very, very low, especially if you have not done any work towards increasing the drop chances. I've talked about this extensively in my daily ESO routine, but I'm gonna do a little TLDR right here. Essentially what you want to increase your chances is motive books from 11 or 10 and up. These increase your chances. The amount of research you have done for every profession. Provisioning recipes from purple and above. We can check those out real quick. As you can see, I have pretty much every single one with this character because it's my main character, but only purple and above counts towards the increased drop chances for the provisioning Master Writ drop rate in that case. Also to take into consideration is the alchemy and enchanting rune knowledge, so you want to have all of your runes known and all of your alchemy mats known, and that's basically it. But I will tell you that this grind is insane. I can show you here my research for all of my other characters. You can see there's a blank space right next to the blacksmithing and clothier research, because all of these are already master woodworking and master jewelry crafting research, so they have everything researched. But unfortunately, the clothing and blacksmithing takes a lot more time, like a lot more. These are not even close to completing that, so I'm still in this, and I've done this for a few months by now. Getting your chances up to very high chances to get Master Writs is an insane grind, and it takes a long time, and not many people want to do this. But fortunately, you can get these Master Writs from buying from other players, from guild traders, or just from one-to-one trade. That's also possible. For me, it wasn't an option. I like this kind of grind, so I did this. I'm talking about this a lot, as I said, in my daily ESO routine, so you can check that out as well if you want to. We are now switching over to the next subject. Alright, so how do you actually complete these? Well, that's quite simple. For the alchemy, enchanting and provisioning, it's very simple. You just have to have access to any kind of crafting station for that respective profession. Though it becomes a little more complicated when we talk about blacksmithing, clothing, woodworking and jewelry crafting. Because as you might remember in the beginning, I told you that this wants you to craft a very specific set. And you don't come across these set crafting stations in major cities, but instead they are found in the world. Let's check some random zone out real quick. Let's take Blackwood, and we have a crafting station here. And as you can see, this is the set for the Heartland Conqueror. Maybe you have no idea what that is, I don't either, but that's not the point. The point is that when you get a Master Writ that wants you to craft a Heartland Conqueror set, then this is the place where you want to have to go. There is an add-on that can help you with determining where these set crafting stations actually are, and it's Trade Buddy. Usually it helps me keep track of all the trades I have researched. I've just showed this to you briefly. But fortunately it also has a tab which shows me all the different crafting sets that are available in the game. I think it's a little bit outdated, there's 5 or 6 missing. But you can just check, for example, let's see. Let's talk to Azabi and let's take one random blacksmithing writ. Alright, here it says Druid's Braid is the set that we need to craft. Now I just check out my Trade Buddy add-on, scroll to Druid, and there we go, Druid's Braid. It will require me to have 7 trades researched in order to be able to craft it myself. So this is another thing you have to take into consideration. Maybe you have access to the set, maybe you have access to the trade, maybe you have access to the motive, but you might not be able to have access to crafting it because you need to have a very specific amount of trades researched for that particular set. In this case, it's 7, that's quite high. Some even take 9, that's all trades that you have to have researched for that particular piece. Some are quite lenient with like 3 or 4 or 5. But please check that beforehand before you accept one of those. And I know I hear you moan already because this is very complicated and it seems very, I don't know, not intuitive. And I kind of agree with you if you're just kind of new to the game and you've heard about Master Writs and you're watching this video right now and you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Jesus Christ, how am I supposed to keep track of all this? Then I understand you. It took a while for me to get all this stuff done as well, but the advice I can give you is just take your time with this stuff and just take one step at a time. It's a bit complicated, I agree, but once you have an understanding of this, then you can get quite a lot of gold from this, so maybe it's worth it in the end after all. Alright, but back to what we initially wanted to talk about is that the Druid's Braid that we've just seen at the Master Writs, we can see the set itself, what it does, but also there's a location in the lower part of the description. And now we can just check over to High Isle, which is here in the west. And now we still have to check out the crafting stations that are here, but it narrowed the search down tremendously. Oh, first try, ha! The Druid's Braid is right here. Keep in mind though that when you do these craftings in the world, there's another option we just talk about in just 1 second. You will have to have access to these zones. You can't just go there without having the DLC or ESO+. But there's fortunately a way around, which we are going to talk about right now. Maybe you remember what I just said, that there are people in guilds that use their house or make their house available for other players, and the way they usually do that is for crafting. And we are going to check that out. I want to say a special thanks to Summer Rose, the guild I'm in, where I always do my craftings you can see here they have guild halls, and these guild halls are usually equipped with these Grandmaster crafting station I've talked about at the vendor just a few minutes ago. And we are now going to check one of these out, and we are going to check the one out I'm always using. So here we are in the house, and this is the crafting area of this particular house. Obviously this is different for the guilds you are in. And here are the Grandmaster stations. We can check one out, and as you can see in the lower part of your screen in the middle, it says item sets 80 out of 80. That means you can craft any set at this crafting station for woodworking. And this is very useful because you don't have to travel to these crafting set stations in the world. So if you're a new player and you have a few Master Writs that you want to do, I highly recommend you get into a guild that has a guild house like that, because it really makes your life a lot easier. Here are the other Grandmaster stations. So this is very great. I use this regularly and just saves me a lot of time, so I don't have to travel around the world. Alright, maybe you remember that in the beginning I said you can have only one writ active at a time for each profession, so it's 7 in total. But there is actually a workaround for this, and the workaround is that you can craft all the necessary items that the writs want you to hand in beforehand, and then accept them, hand them in, and accept the next one at the vendor. And there's a great add-on that helps you with this, and it's called Writ-worthy. This is, if you are on PC, this is basically a necessity if you want to keep doing writs efficiently and regularly, because the console players around you have it a little harder, unfortunately, because you will have to manually figure out what exactly you have to craft, but Writ-worthy does this for you. And right now I'm gonna just take a few of these writs out and tell you exactly what I mean. We take a few of the alchemy ones, 3 of these, then we take 3 of the blacksmithing I'm able to craft, we take 3 clothier ones I'm able to, and enchanting, oh I have only 2, because I sold them I think, but we can just get 1, and that should do for our course right now. If you have the Writ-worthy add-on, you just open the chat and type in Writ-worthy, and it opens this window. You can activate your mouse cursor with dot, at least it's dot for me, I think that's the default. If you press the dot, as you can see, the mouse cursor comes in and comes out, so you will need that. And here you can see all the writs you currently have in your inventory. And you can tell the add-on that you want to queue all of them at once. I will do that. And now I told the add-on that when I get to a crafting station, it will automatically craft the necessary requirement for that particular writ. This sounds more complicated than it actually is. You can, after that, you can just enqueue all. It says here 10 total writs are queued. Easy peasy. You can close this now. And now we are going to the respective writs stations. For example, we have 3 times alchemy. That means we go to the alchemy station. And as you will see, this will just craft it automatically for us. I don't have to do anything. Just watch. Isn't that great? This is awesome. You don't have to do anything, and you can do multiple writs at once. We're gonna do that for the enchanting one as well. I mean, we have only 1, but still, it crafts the stuff for us. It's very, very, very helpful. It takes a lot of time out of your hands that you would have had to do beforehand manually. We don't have jewelry. We have blacksmithing. See, it automatically picks the right set and the right item it needs you to do. It also automatically upgrades the items. This is great for us PC players, but if you're a console player, this is a lot more annoying. And I'm sorry to tell you that there's not really a way that you can do this more efficiently. You will have to figure out what to craft beforehand. You can Google this kind of stuff, but unfortunately, as of right now, it's very inconvenient for you console players to do this in an efficient way like us PC players are able to. So I'm very sorry about that, but that's just the reality. Let's do the last clothing ones. You can see once again it picks the set it needs. It is only able to do that because it has 80 out of 80. If the set is not attuned to this master crafting station that the Writ requests you to do, then it won't do that. So you want to have all item sets in those Grand Master crafting stations. And if we now go back to Writworthy, you can see, oh, everything is green, all is completed. That is awesome. We can close that again. And you can see all the stuff is in my inventory. In the top here, this is for Writ, this is all for Writ. And I'm gonna show you real quick how you can hand this stuff in. But just very quick, as you can see here on the Master Writ, it also tells us Writworthy crafting is completed. There's a green text for that, so it lets us know this is done. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And now we are going back to Mournhold and hand that stuff in. And we are back in Mournhold, and I will show you very quick how you can hand these in very efficiently and very quickly. You just get to this Roleless Hlalu here, then you open your inventory and type in Writ. Now you just get all of these that you have in your inventory that you have just crafted. Now you can use this, activate it, and just to quickly show you, it is part of my crafting, a Masterful Concoction. I wouldn't be able to accept another one, as you can, when I press E again, you can only have one quest of that type, it tells me. So keep that in mind. I know I've told you before, but this is important. And now what we can do, or basically what Writworthy does, when I talk to this guy, it will automatically hand it in. It goes super fast, as you can see, done. And I can go out of the dialogue option again. And then I just open up my inventory again, accept the new one, and then I can do this very fast. As you can see, just accept and hand in very fast. And you will see also, you will see also in the end that I get very, very high amounts of experience. And that's why handing in Master Writs is actually a great way to level too. And in the beginning I told you enchanting and alchemy writs are quite popular, and this is the reason why. Just 1 second, as you can see, 466,000 experience points, 3,400 gold, and 71 red vouchers, just like that. And it was very simple. Obviously I had the materials beforehand, so a bit ahead of you in that regard, but once you have the materials and the means to craft these, this is very simple to do so. And it's just easy gold and experience. Alright, as a last part, I want to talk to you about the alchemy and enchanting writs. These are usually more expensive, and here's the reason why. These are used for leveling characters. You can level with this from 1 to 50, the standard leveling, and you can also level champion points very efficiently. You can see the sale average for them is 10,800. And this is actually quite stable. We have had a huge deflation lately. The economy is pretty down and it's pretty bad for a lot of items that you can usually sell for a good amount of money. But what stayed stable are actually the alchemy writs, which is kind of insane. And the reason for that is, excuse me, is because these are first easy to do, and second, they are great for you to level. The same counts for enchanting, but enchanting takes a few more skill points to be able to use it for leveling, but you can see they are 5,300 on average as well. A lot of the clothier ones are a lot lower, and not just because it's more annoying to craft. Obviously it's way more accessible to craft the enchanting and alchemy writs than the sealed clothier writs or the other ones where you have to have access to a specific style, specific set and a specific trade. But it's also because of that leveling. I personally leveled 4 or 5 characters this way. And what you can do to do this is you just need solvent proficiency 8 out of 8, and you need laboratory use and chemistry. So you need 12 skill points in total. When you have 12 skill points and alchemy 50, you can just level your character from 1 to 50 in like 10 minutes tops. This is the very fastest method that is currently out there, and it is expensive though. It's less expensive than Black Rose Prison carry runs, but if you have like 5 or 6 characters already and you want to get them up very quickly, this is definitely the fastest and easiest way to do it. So you can do it with enchanting as well, but you will need more skill points. You will need 14, so that's 2 more. So usually people do it with alchemy. I did it with alchemy as well. You will need like 100 or 200 alchemy writs for that, so quite a lot, and I highly suggest you to do this when there is a double XP event active, but then it's just very quickly. As you can see, I just got 400,000 experience. Granted, I had enlightened experience there, so usually one writ gives you like 30k, something like this, when you are level 50 already. Obviously it's different when you are level 1, but yeah, this is it for Master Writs. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you like this kind of content, I will do more in the future, then I would appreciate it if you could subscribe and like the video. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!